Hey, we're back again, and it's a new day for you, but not a new day for me because I'm still wearing the same truck outfit. But that's okay. So we're gonna move on to 7-2 today. So go ahead and open up your book to page. We're gonna skip some of it just because I want to be there for it. But go ahead and open up to page 252. Okay. So this we're talking about more probability, and probability is the likelihood of something happening. Now, I want to start off with, first of all, if I have the probability of 3 to 9, hopefully that's not backwards. Okay, it's a little backwards, but you get the point. 3 to 9, and I asked you to simplify it, it's no different than fractions. It would be 1 to 3. So if I said in the classroom there's 3 girls to 9, it's the same as 1 to 3. So anytime you see and I ask you to simplify, which it will do on your math boxes today, this is what it means. So you just find what you can divide both of them by and then divide them. So that's how I wanted to start today off. Okay, so now you're on page 252 and it says number 1. The table below shows the results of a survey of 200 Health Club members. So be careful, it's 200, it's not 100, so that's a little tricky. The members were asked to name the area of the club in which they did the most exercise. So if you're reading the table, I see there's swimming pool, aerobics studio, the racquetball court, and the weight room. So it says, what is the probability written as a percent that a member spends most of his or her time in? So the aerobic studio, I would do 28 out of 200. And then, but I need to find a percent, so that's out of 100. So I'm going to take 200 and I'm going to divide it by 2 to get to my 100. My 28, I'm going to divide it by 2 and I'm going to get 14. So now I have 14%. So you should be able to do the same things with the other one. We'll do one more together. B, swimming pool. So I see swimming pool is 80 out of 200, and they're nice because 200 is not that hard. And then I'm going to divide them both by 2 because then I get my 100 and I get 40. So my answer is 40%. So what I want you to do now is I want you to do C and D, and then come back and check with me. Okay, so your answers for the next one should be 65% was C, and D is 46%. For C, if you missed it, you probably found the percent of the racquetball court and want to find out what's not. So you need to take 100 minus that. Okay, moving on to number 2. It says, what is the probability that the area of the rectangle at the right is greater than 65? Express the probability as a percent. So what I did is my options are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So first I'm going to substitute my 1 in here. So 8 plus 1 is 9. 4 plus 1 is 5. 9 times 5 is 45. That's too small. 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. 8 plus 2 is 10. That's 60, too small. But I do know that 3 is going to work. So 1 and 2 don't work. So 1, if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 1 and 2 don't work. That means 3 out of my 5 do. 3 out of 5 is 60%. Okay. It says, what is the probability that the perimeter of the rectangular is less than 25? So perimeter, so I already have 9 and 9. That's 18 and 5 and 5, so it's 28. So if one doesn't work, that means that none of them are. So if none of them are going to work, it's going to be a 0% chance. Okay, so what I want you guys to do now is your math boxes on page 253. When you're done, check back and we will go over the answers with those. Okay, we are back with the math boxes. Number 1, suppose one of the squares is chosen at random. What is the probability that the square is white? Well, only one of the 8 is white. So my answer would be you should have 1/8, or if a percent, 12.5%. Checkered. Okay, I see 1, 2, 3 that are checkered, so 3 out of 8. So you could take 12.5 times 3, or 37.5. And then checkered or white, so if you put these together, that's 4 out of 5, which is, or 4 out of 8, which is 50%. So those are your answers for number 1. Number 2, 1/3 of 27. If I split 27 into 3 groups, each group is worth 9. 5/6 of 30. If you forgot how to do these, times, or 30 divided by 6 is 5, times 5 is, your answer is 25. 4/7 of 42. So 42 divided by 7 is 6, but we want 4 groups of those, so times 4, 24. And 3/8 of 56. 56 divided by 8 is 7, times 3, which is 21. Okay, number 3, you should have had ST. If you get put in 1, you get out -3. If you put in 2, you get out -1. If you put in 5, you get out 5, or S and T, I guess. If you have 8, you get 11, and 10, you get 15. So if you got those wrong, go back and double check and see what you did. Okay, number 4 is our inequalities. There could be a variety of them. You would take 1.1 and you would subtract 0.38. Remember, you have to line up the decimals. 1, 0, 10, 2. 0.72. So it has to be greater than this. It has to be, because W is greater than 0.72. So I might do 0.73, anything larger than 0.72. And then that little sign underneath means equal to. So less than or equal, or greater. Let me just solve it really quick. 10 and 1/3 minus 6 and 2/3. Remember, we can't take 1 minus 2 because it'll be negative. So we change my 10 to a 9. Add 3/3, which is 4/3. So we get 2/3, 3 and 3/3. So 3 and 2/3. So it either has to equal this, or G has to equal something less than that. So anything less this or anything less than it. And then number 5 is my simplest equations. 8 to 10 is 4 out of 5. 35 out of 100 is 7 out of 20. And 60 to 90 is 2 out of 3. And 144 to 2 hours, that's a lot of money. 12 hours, there we go, is $12 per 1 hour. Those are your answers for that. Go ahead and do your study link for 7-2 now, and then play Learning Farm.